Welcome back this week. We're going to talk about Paris Fashion Week, some things that I didn't mention last week because the shows were after I recorded. So, hey, I'm only human. Also, want to give a couple of updates about some things that I talked about last week. Mainly this video, I want to talk about just the award season, do a little fun recap of best and worst looks. Also want to not talk about the pimple patch on my forehead. So let's just dive right in. Surprise, surprise, I'm late again. Look, I had a long week, had a long weekend. There was a lot going on. My face is breaking out. Okay, you know what you're getting when you come to this channel. Well, if you're new here, you don't. If you're new here, I'm Adriana. I discuss fashion and fashion news, any new collections. If you're not new here, you knew what it was when you met me. Okay, let's just keep it moving. Let's move right on. Let's just avoid the pimple patch conversation for now. I don't have any reason to talk about the Paris Fashion Week stuff because nothing exciting was shown. I mean, maybe I'll pop in a couple of things. Yeah, so same color palettes, nothing exciting. We saw from those brands what we expect to see from those brands. Didn't we expect to see Sam Smith showing thigh meat down the Vivienne Westwood runway? No, we didn't, but here we are. It's a thing that happened. Let's move on. Let's move on. I know I said we were going to talk about Paris Fashion Week, but there's really nothing to talk about. Saint Laurent showed, Stella McCartney showed. She referenced herself, which was cool. She referenced herself from her Chloe days. Hermes showed, Valentino showed, Marine Sierra showed, and then also Sean showed his long-awaited Alexander McQueen collection. A lot of people didn't like it, but I'm not going to speak on it. Let's just let him get his footing. We don't have to address it right now. Also, I'm not even going to harp on those collections or those fashion shows because there was nothing exciting about them. Fashion has been extremely boring lately. I've said it before. And then La Roche said it on Twitter the other night after the Oscars. And I was like, okay, I knew I wasn't tripping. I'm bored. I lied. I do want to discuss Lacoste. Lacoste just got a new creative director. I want to say she's Greek. I can't think of what her name is. I'll pop it here. But yeah, this wonderful lady, she showed her Lacoste collection, and I love Lacoste. I've always loved Lacoste. They have really cool athleisure pieces that you can dress up or down. And then also they've done collabs with Tyler the Creator and Goff LaFleur, and we know how I love him. I talked about that last week. So I loved the styling of the Lacoste show. I loved a lot of the pieces. I loved the color palette that was shown. There were some cool like burnt orange pieces that were really nice. There was a cute like maxi sweater dress off the shoulder. Loved it. I'm an off the shoulder girly. There was a graphic sweater that I really liked from the collection. I really love the Lacoste show. That's the only thing I want to talk about. Also, I want to talk about how Demna can go to hell because I'm tired of seeing that shit that he's doing with Balenciaga. Give it up. Go on sabbatical. Do something else. We want something else. Do my eyebrows.
Do something else. Do my eyebrows.
Demna mentioned that he wanted to do something different with the brand or go back to the basics or some wording or verbiage that he used that basically boiled down to the same thing all of the other designers have been saying about like getting more in tune with the brand's identity or whatever. And then he did the same Demna antics and showed dumb novelty stuff that really is not fashion. I do understand that fashion is an art form. It should be fun, it should be cool, but he's doing the same things for shock value every season. The dress that he put Kim in for the Vanity Fair Oscar after party was actually kind of cool, but still, I know Cristobal is like, this is not what I signed up for. Anyway, okay, fine. I was wrong. The Rose pictures came out from their collection that was all hush hush, and they did play with some different silhouettes. There were a couple of like decent pieces. Nothing that again I would spend my hard-earned money on, but it was all right. It was better than I thought it was gonna be because I talked Taylor shit about them last week, but whatever. I know when to admit defeat. Okay, let's finally jump into what we're actually talking about this week. I had to give that update from last week's video because I do know that, like I said, brands showed after the video posted. So I know that there wasn't really the end of Fashion Week. Some things came down the runway, but did they really? I just want to do a little wrap up. I thought it would be fun to talk about the hits and misses of this award season. You know, at the top of every year, they start on their campaign for who's going to win the Oscar, who's going to win the SAG Awards, who's going to win Critics' Choice. It's hella buzz. All of the stylists are super busy. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun time in fashion. It's good to see who's going to land on the best and worst dress list. I want to give my personal opinion for who got best dressed and worst dressed for each award show during the season. I do know that there are some smaller award shows that I'm not going to highlight, but for the major ones, we're going to talk about best and worst. In my opinion, I always have to say that because I know how you girls like to tussle. Summer Walker was best dressed at the Grammys to me, just because I didn't expect her to wear that. I do like things like that. I love those like super big hats. I love a headpiece. I love the drama of it all. It was a completely feathered look. The hat was feathered and super big. The dress was corseted but still feathered, floor length. It gave very much like Mae West vibes, like like I don't know. It was a cool dress. I cannot find any site, like no site bothered to ask Summer who she was wearing, I guess, or none of the major sites. I'm sure as I'm editing this video, I'm going to find the name of it. But just when I did like short, brief research, I couldn't find the name of the designer of this dress. But she was the best dress to me. Now, here's the controversial yet brave statement. Did the dress wear her? Yes. And I think it's because, she said before she suffers from anxiety or social anxiety, rather. So I think she was just uncomfortable being in that setting. And so she didn't have the attitude she needed to carry the look. So the look wore her, that's for damn sure. But it was my favorite look at the Grammys. The worst look at the Grammys was, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it was Kat Graham. Now, I only say that because I know what Kat Graham usually brings to fashion. She always steps out. She always looks good. She's always on the best dress list. I thought this was a miss because her stomach looked ashy. All right. That sounds childish, but it was a white Stephanie Rowland fall winter 2023 look, and it had these cutouts all across her midriff and the side, and the cutouts had mesh inserts, but the mesh was not the color for her skin tone. And was it a good match? Could it have just been lighting? Yes to both of those questions. But when you're black and you wear like stockings or anything mesh or anything that's supposed to mimic your actual skin tone, it can go wrong really quickly. You can either look green or you can look ashy because it has to match your skin tone perfectly. Again, they could have just been lighting. It could have been like just the pictures that I saw, but it just looks weird to me. I don't know why. I would have preferred her just shown skin, like just complete skin, no mesh at all on the sides or in the midsection. But and then also the top had this weird thing. It was like a weird proportion. I don't know. Kat Graham usually does it for me, but this just didn't give me what I needed. Also, I hated Chloe Bailey's wig. I just had to get that off my chest. The dress wasn't bad. The wig just pissed me off. Moving on to the BAFTAs, just gonna cover my pimple patch again. No need to distract us here. Stay focused. BAFTA awards. Best dress at the BAFTA awards were it was Lily Collins, honestly, by a long shot to me personally. Long black velvet gown with silver rose vines across the top, and then the sleeves were these poofy sleeves that were in the shapes of roses, like that. This rose detailing on it, made by the fabric. Um, I loved it. I love the hair. I love the makeup. I thought it was really well put together. It was a really good look. And I don't have any notes. I believe it was by Tamara Ralph, the Fall Winter 2023 collection. So is it Tamara Ralph or Tamara Ralph? We'll go with Tamara for now. The worst dress was Emma Corrin or Emma Corrin. She apparently stars on The Crown. I don't watch that show, but ooh, the Kate Middleton drama though. I'm very involved in that. I want to know what's going on. I think there was an unaliving attempt. This is just my theory. Okay, let's just pause on the award show stuff. I have ADHD, so I can't ever stay on track. But I think she tried to unalive herself. And I don't wish that on anybody. So I deal with my own depression thing. Maybe we'll talk about that one day if people start caring about my personal life. But I think that was a thing. And then now they're doing damage control and all of that. But back to the BAFTAs, back to this terrible look. So Emma's stylist said he's never seen anything like it, and I was like, yeah, for a reason. It was a Miu Miu look. I'm so sorry, Miu Miu, that they did this and that he pulled these pieces. I don't know what he was thinking. So, like I said, it was like this black long sleeve, like crop top situation, fascinator, mesh fascinator, and then the bottom, it looks to be Miu Miu's, like I would say that they started that. Well, they didn't start it, but they got the like micro short trend going, or the underwear as shorts look. So it's kind of a play on that. It's briefs, and then it had these bows on the sides, and then the bows were the same color as the tights underneath the sheer situation. And then she had on Easter shoes. I hated that. Why did you do that to her, Harry? Why? We're at the Golden Globes now. Follow me. Best dressed, Rosamund Pike. When I pop this picture up, you're going to see why, because it gives the drama that says Adriana. The perfect Dior skirt length. It was the new look, obviously. It was black. It was lace. It had a headpiece. Okay, listen, follow me. This was Haute Dior Couture. It was perfect. I loved this look worn by Rosamund Pike. Everything about it, the stylist pulled everything together perfectly. The hair was good, the makeup was good. This is like my dream look. When my husband dies, that I don't have, hopefully he dies before me, I want to wear this. This is my idea of the perfect funeral look. I don't know how morbid that sounds, but I said what I said. I'm gonna stand in it. Worst dressed is Billie Eilish. She's always worst dressed to me. I mean, and that's crazy because Billie Eilish looks the face. Okay, the face that launched 1,000 ships. Billie Eilish's mug is always giving what needs to be gave. Okay, face card never declines. The eyes, listen. Billie Eilish is beautiful, and she has a cute shape. So I don't know why she does this. It reminds me of, I guess she's trying to kind of do like the thing that Janelle Monáe did when she first came out, where she would wear suits so people wouldn't sexualize her. But Billie, we already seen you got body. We already see them boobs, sister. Okay, just put on a dress. But she wore a Willie Chavaria look, and honestly, the thing that I hated most about it was the fact that she didn't steam the skirt. Like the skirt was kind of wrinkled. Other than that, I know what to expect from Billie Eilish. So it's not like I expected her to just put that shit on or nothing. Like I know she was gonna wear something baggy like she wore to the Oscars. But and we'll get there. But if you gonna do all of this, oh no, she wore Tom Brown to the Oscars, and still I didn't like that either. But I know what to expect from Billie Eilish. Yeah, I just wanted her to steam that skirt. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. It was so many people that looked a damn mess at the Emmys. I honestly couldn't even narrow it down. Now, Niecy Nash obviously won Best Dress at the Emmys. She wore Greta Constantine. Those boobs were sitting up so high. I want to know what kind of strapless bra she wears. The dress fit perfectly on her. She gave a good speech. I love the gloves. I love the old Hollywood drama of the hair. Whew, perfect look. I was so glad she won because that is a look that you want to be photographed in a lot. Like, you know, you look good, you feel good. When you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. When you play good, they pay good. So, my girl looks so good, okay? Amber Ruffin, why? It was like this dusty rose color, and then it had one shoulder. First of all, I hate things with one sleeve. Like, I don't wear a lot of sleeveless things in general because I just hate my arms, but I hate a one sleeve garment. I don't care if it's one short sleeve, one off the shoulder sleeve. I don't care what it is. I don't like that shit. And hers had a poofing situation up here. And again, like I said, it was Dusty Rose. It also had a peplum situation. I want to say it was belted too, and then that was an ugly ass dress. Like, that looked like something that you put your bridesmaids in when you just hate them. Angela Gibbs had on this koi fish dress situation. I don't really too much like patterns on the runway, unless, well, it's funny because Ayo wore this pattern Luar dress that I'm gonna give best dress to in a second, but not like this. This was an eyesore. I hated it. Um, but like I said, so many people looked a mess at the Emmys that those two just stood out to me. Those were the worst to me. Best dress at the SAG Awards to me was Ayo Edebiri. She wore a plaid Luar look. It was a little bit different from what she's usually worn on the red carpet for any other events for that matter. Usually this season we've seen her do a lot of like blunt, short bob looks, a lot of structured pieces. And this was structured also. It fit into the color story that it was obvious that her team chose for this award season, but just a little bit of a different silhouette. I thought that the long hair looked good on her. It matched her hair texture perfectly. So that's all you can ask for. And yeah, so she was the best dressed to me. Really good, cohesive look. So Cara Jade Myers wore a Jonte comp. I can't even look at myself when I say this. Cara Jade Myers wore a Jonte com dress that, okay, this is why I feel ashamed. So when I read the backstory of the dress and the just the inspiration behind it in general, I felt bad because it is inspired by Native American heritage. She is Native American. So I thought that, okay, it just didn't work for the time. She didn't read the room. I could see how it would be a beautiful dress for something else, but just not for this occasion. Let me just read what the inspiration was. So Jante said that this dress is called the Sudden dress. It was inspired by the shawls worn by fancy dancers. It's a Native American dance often performed by women, characterized by vibrant regalia and intricate footwork. Ribbons are incorporated for their visual appeal, adding movement and symbolism to the dance. They can represent elements like nature, spirits, or personal stories, enhancing the cultural significance of the performance. So, when you say it like that, I could see why. And she was a cast member in Killers of the Flower Moon. So, everything fit. She was on theme. I know what she was trying to do. However, it just did not look good. It didn't look good for the moment. Read the room. This is not the time. Okay, it's something else. Give me something else right now. But again, like I said, I felt bad because it wasn't heavily inspired by. She's indigenous. The designer, I believe, is Native American. And let's just move on. Let's move on. No need to harp on it. Let's move on. She was my worst dressed. Critics' Choice Awards. The best dress, obviously, was Colman Domingo for Haute Couture Valentino. He wore a gold suit with like a sky or powder blue shirt underneath. He wore gold boots. He wore a beautiful gold coat. gold accessories. Everybody knows that he was best dressed. It's not a secret. He was on every best dressed list for the season. That was such a good look. His team has done a really good job all award season for sure. He definitely won award season, but that Valentino look was something special. Okay, so much so that the worst dressed was everybody else. Like I mean, I don't even remember. I do remember hating Carrie Russell's dress at the SAG Awards for sure. But I just don't remember what anybody else wore because Colman Domingo looked so good in his suit. Best dressed at the Oscars to me was Divine Joy Randolph. She wore a light blue Louis Vuitton, a custom Louis Vuitton look. Now, it's not to say that there weren't other dresses that were prettier. There were for sure a couple of other dresses that were prettier. I just thought that is what you wear when you win your first Oscar. That's a dramatic look. That's something you want to see pictures of yourself in. These are pictures that are going to live on for the rest of her career. No matter what else she does, she's going to remember her first Oscar that she won. She's going to remember that dress. We're all going to remember that dress. It's a moment. I miss when stars were stars. That is what you wear when you're a star and you're going to win an award. And yeah, like I said, I mean, were there other looks that could have technically been better? Then yes, but for the moment, for what she brought, definitely she was best dressed to me. And her team has done a really good job this whole award season of telling a story, making sure that her moments in her career were as memorable, like the looks matched the moments. She swept the award season. She won for the holdovers, and every time she was nominated for it, I believe. So, and every look was special. Like she might not have gotten best dressed to me at all of the other award shows, but she damn sure won. So that's all that matters. She looked good. All of her pieces were custom. All of her pieces were hitting. They did such a good job of making her look like a Hollywood starlet for sure. And I'm very happy and I'm very proud of her. Just for being a plus size black woman in this industry. Yeah. So she was best dressed to me at the Oscars. Worst dress at the Oscars, and honestly, I didn't like anything she wore all award season. I feel bad for this one too, but Erica Alexander for Christian Siriano, I think maybe it was the styling because a lot of times during the award season, it wasn't even that the dress that she had on was ugly. It was that people aren't styling anymore. Styling a look is the hair, the makeup, the accessories, everything. It's a cohesive look, head to toe, shoes, everything. And I feel like this award season, her hair didn't go with the event or the dress. It's very, I don't think people realize like certain hair doesn't go with everything. You have to change your hair for certain looks. It's very important. It's not a cohesive look if you did not consider your hair when you planned it. Just want to drive that point home, even in everyday life. Anyway, that's something that's very important to me that people don't understand. But yeah, she wore this Christian Siriano dress and it had like purple ruffle detailing at the bottom. And then her hair was really big. It just wasn't, I feel like with that look, like the dress, I don't think the dress itself was ugly. I think the look was not the best. A couple of times before, I remember at one award show, she had her hair in these multicolored like blue braids. There was a big bun at the top. It just didn't go with the look. And this time, I feel like because the dress was so busy design wise, she should have maybe put her hair back into a low chignon, maybe light makeup, just simplified everything else and let the dress do the talking. And it was just big hair, big dress. Like that means the proportions were off. I just didn't like it. And she seems like a nice lady. And Erica Alexander, I'm glad that she's getting her shine now as an actress because she's Maxine from Living Single. Like, come on, let's not play that game. Erica Alexander is a legend. Maybe to only black people, but she's definitely a legend to me. I just feel like because this is maybe one of the first times in her career that she's gotten the shine that she deserves, I don't think she had the right team in place to carry her through the award season. I think that Zendaya has shown that if you can be a fashion mogul, you can stay in the minds of everybody else, and then people will start to picture you as a star because you give star quality, you give star looks. I think that if Erica Alexander would have had the team that could work with her during this time, it would have carried her career even further. But like I said, people don't take styling into consideration. They just think you just get invited to something fancy and you buy a fancy dress. And this means nothing coming from a girl with a pimple patch in the middle of her forehead, but so maybe you don't want to listen to me. So let's talk about award season winners. Obviously, Colman Domingo won this award season. Every look he gave, even though he was only on this list for me, for the SAG Awards for the Gold Valentino, obviously every look was executed perfectly. Always had the right accessories, always clean cut in the manicure, and just everything about what Colman Domingo did during this during this award show season was spectacular. Honestly, I have no notes. I have no notes. For women, I think the winners there were two for me. Carrie Mulligan for sure, because I believe she was doing the award show rounds for Maestro. I don't think she was in Oppenheimer with all the other white people in Hollywood. I want to say it was that movie with Bradley Cooper, but every look fit the era of that movie. So it's important, and Law Roach does a good job at doing it with Zendaya, and a couple of other people do too. It's important to take what you're promoting into consideration with what you're wearing, also. So because of that era and that time frame that the movie was shot in, all of her pieces mirrored that. So a lot of Dior New Look hems, a lot of sweetheart necklines, a lot of corseting in the dress. She wore this Schiaparelli dress that was beautiful. And honestly, she was probably one of the only people that did Schiaparelli right during this award season. Taylor Swift ass wore it, and it just looked like a homecoming dress from Sears on her. She's just so damn plain. Her hair always flat. That fucking red lipstick. Ugh. There's nothing exciting about Taylor Swift to me. And I do understand that that's her brand. Like, she's supposed to be America's sweetheart girl next door, so she can't alienate her audience. But also, even your audience can put that shit on every now and then, okay? The next person that did it for me this season was Greta Lee. She starred in Past Lives. And I watched the Hollywood Roundtable interview of her, and she was actually really funny. So I didn't know her. She wasn't on my radar before. But then I also thought that she was maybe a brand ambassador for Loewe, but I don't think she is. I think she just loves Loewe pieces, and understandable. She wore a lot of Loewe. She wore a couple of Bottega pieces. She did some pant looks. She did some more casual looks. She did some dressy looks. She played with the look a lot this season. And the color story, and the color palette was cohesive. Even if the silhouettes weren't and the styles necessarily weren't, everything looks good on her. Everything was tailored well on her. It was fun. Like, I feel like she put on a fun show for fashion this award season. Did want to show a couple of the Vanity Fair Oscar party looks because I thought they were fun. I thought in some cases a lot of the people looked better there than they did at the actual show. And some people probably weren't even invited to the actual award show, so they had to put this shit on for the after party. Kelly Rowland. Kelly Rowland and Nina Ricci, listen, that did something for me. She looked perfect. She always looks good. The hair was good. The look was good. She just looked so beautiful in the Nina Ricci dress. Anya Taylor-Joy looked really good in her look. I thought it was cool. She had on a cool little headpiece. Kerry Washington looked good. She had her little Barbie ponytail. I'm sure that's just called a high ponytail with the flip. But the Instagram girls, when you book it on their little websites, it's called the Barbie ponytail, apparently, child. Anyway, cute dress, little bow, little ribbon for at the top of the ponytail. That was cute. Quinta Brunson looked really good. She was showing a lot of thigh. This is a little bit sexier than we're used to seeing Quinta, so I liked it. Obviously, again, Colman Domingo cannot keep his foot off our necks. He won't let us breathe for a second. He changed out of his Oscar look and put on a Balmain coat. Really cool beading and detailing in the front. Will he ever disappoint? I highly doubt it. And Kendall Jenner looks good. Kylie looks good too. Kim had on the Balenciaga dress that I mentioned earlier. That was cute on her. People were saying that she looks Armenian again. Anyway. But Kendall wore Jean Galliano for Margiela, and it looked really good on her. I must admit. So that is it. Thanks for coming back. I told you we were going to talk about Paris Fashion Week. Told you we were going to talk about the awards show. So we did all those things. Yeah. So on Sunday, I'll be back again with the fashion news recap. I really liked how that played during Fashion Week, but I do want to keep that going every Sunday because there's always something happening, and I always got thoughts. I got thoughts aplenty about a lot of things. Yeah. So thanks for stopping by again. I will see you on Sunday. And I won't have this pimple patch on anymore unless the pimple's still there. Then pimple patch stays.